It is a very good read. Kia ora tātou.
I call Jackie Dean.
The Minister in the Chair, Jonathan Coleman, was right in his earlier intervention when he noted that it was a strong focus of this government to move resources out of the back room and onto the front line. It is true in terms of the New Zealand Defence Force, but it is also true in terms of New Zealand Police. Mr Chair, the Prevention First strategy is working extremely well in New Zealand. Crime is down. One of the most important features of the Prevention First strategy is that policing is now different. Gone are the days where the police constable sat behind a desk in a small suburban or small rural watch house waiting for business to come to them, using their own cell phones in latter years to take calls if they did happen to be out in the squad car, and responding normally after an event had occurred, after a citizen had phoned feeling a bit insecure in their home and waiting for the police to take a note of it, or having to go into the police station and waiting for some response after the event. I want to give a couple of examples of how Prevention First is working for New Zealanders, and one of them was an example. A lady came to see me in my electorate office, an older lady. She was cooking her dinner at 6:30 in the evening. It is dark these days, and there was a knock on her door. She looked through the curtain to see who was out there, and she saw one man there, a large man who she asked to identify himself. She wasn't happy with the response he gave, so she declined to open the door and told him to go away. She was very upset and worried about this, and so she rang her neighbours, and yes, this man had knocked on their doors as well. So she was then advised to ring the police. She did that. She noted her concerns that she felt unsafe for herself and for her neighbours, hung up the phone, went into her sewing room, got one of those wooden rulers that older folk will remember, and started fitting it into her ranch slider to make her house more secure. She looked up, and there was a constable looking in the ranch sliders at her. He had got the call from the station. He had come directly round to her place, and he had got himself in and said, right, let's have a look at your security in your home. He did that. He visited the neighbours. She felt more secure. Her neighbours felt more secure. That is Prevention First at work. The second example I want to talk about is the use of technologies, and there has been a major rollout of iPads, tablets and iPhones. So the constable sitting in Geraldine Police Station, another part of my area, no longer sits at his desk waiting for the phone to ring and for business to come to him. He puts this under one arm, he puts his iPod in his top pocket, and he starts walking down the street of Geraldine, and he talks to people. People come up to him, pass the time of day, pass comment, share their concerns with him. He is out there doing what a good policeman should do, and that is prevention first, getting in front of the crime in New Zealand, which is why crime numbers are dropping significantly in New Zealand. And so this change in policing, which is having such a good effect on crime in New Zealand and making people feel safer in their homes, which in my view is very important, seems to have escaped some members of the Law and Order Select Committee, who seem still to be of the view that neighbourhood police stations, which are visited by a member of the public once or even twice a day, or even less, should continue to be manned. Now, let's have a choice here. Should we have neighbourhood police stations which are hardly ever used, with the police constable sitting in there waiting for the custom to come to them? Or should we have proactive members of the police out and about, armed with the technologies they need to do their work, with them so that they can not only respond immediately as people need them out in the community, they can be visible out in the community, but they can do their work out in the community. To me, it is a complete nonsense to hang your hat on the number of police stations that are being closed when policing is improving so much in New Zealand.
I call Mark Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Pleasure to take a call today. Look, Mr. Chair, I'd like to talk about the police leadership, and then I'd also